Hello everyone, I am Aman Kaushal, and the topic was assigned to me regarding the CSI 165, that was the history of the internet, and I'm going to cover some slides covering this topic. So here comes the introduction, and the question I'm going to cover is that is what is the internet and what we use the internet for, history of internet development. As we all know, development of internet has been in the many phases, like from 1950s to 2000, and at last there is summary. So just we can look upon the first topic, that is what is the internet. The internet is a global information network that connects millions of computers to one another, and it is growing exponentially and provides a unique information resource that is global, diverse, and current. And everyone we use internet these days, and internet used in many ways. Um, we all know, like by sharing some data to another, and we can also, like we can educate ourselves. And there is a picture, like you can just have a look, like we are here. There is a recording and facts, speaking on a mic, or we can just have a to play games, or many more. There are just several things you can look upon here. So on the second slide, I'm going to cover that what are the uses of internet. You can just have a you can just have a look that here's a computer, and around it, like many things are there. Like here we have two people talking to each other. There is a Twitter sign, calculator, reading book, and mail, searching engine, and MasterCard that is used for shopping. And now we all know what the uses of internet are, but still I'm going to just tell you a bit more. That is browsing information and social media and creating awareness. Like we use the social media networks, like by reading newspapers and by using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and many more are there just like this. And for entertainment, we usually watch videos, movies, and as well as we listen music. And by the development, now we are with the use of communicating with people all around the world by calling each other, by having video chat through various apps like Skype, Zoom, and there are still many more just we can have. And sharing information is one of the use we can have. And most of the people these days are using internet for, like for banking purposes, to educate themselves. Like in this pandemic of COVID, we are not able to go to schools, but still we are educating ourselves. The source is internet. And we can, and by sitting on one place, we can shop anywhere from by buying any product related to anything. And like our main focus, that is on the history of internet development. And it all started around 50s, 1950s. And now from the starting, we are going to cover. In 1950s, the internet was not invented, and there was no such word in any of known to anyone. But after a time, it evolved, and as we get to know that internet got its start in the United States more than 50 years ago as a weapon in the Cold War by the government. And in the same decade, as researchers, scientists in the institution that is called DARPANET, Defense Advanced Research Projects and Agency Network, they used to communicate with each other through this network by sharing the data and by reaching the communication with each other through various ways. And it is the best network at that particular time, as the situation was too harsh, like bombings and wars and firings all around the world. And still they were able to make such a good communication network, which was like free with the interference and disruption. Like there was no interference regarding this network, and that was really unique. And here's the logo of DARPA. There's like globe and written on a DARPA. And after a decade, in after a decade, like we can see upon 1962, there was a scientist from MIT as well as from DARPA named JCR Lickdiller, and he proposed a very good network. We can say a galactic network of computers that is used to talk to one another with very efficiently, and such a network would able to connect with the people of government leaders as well as to they were able to communicate with the Soviets as they have already destroyed the telephone system, but still they were able to connect with each other through this network. And there was a small invention, or we can say there was a evolved thing that we got in the mid of 60s. That is, in the 1965, another MIT scientist developed a way of sending information from one computer to another. That is through a small packet switching. We can get the knowledge of packet switching just by its words. As packet switching is a thing that we have small components in each, and packet switching breaks down the whole data into a small blocks and goes through a various paths and reach at the destination point and compiles the data and gives the same data on the destination place what we gave to the person we have sent to. And that was still able to we are still having the same thing these days in the same era of 21st century. And like in the 1960s, in the end of 1969, there was a ARPANET, and which was without the packet switching, they were able to do that to attack the enemy as a with the help of communications. And in the end of 60s, the ARPANET delivered its first message, that is a node to node, that is the communication from one computer to another, but with the crash of the full network. And here comes the most and the first internet yet born. And we can have a picture, as we can see here, that there is just some dots over there and some dots over here. The dots are institutions over here as well as over here, and they used to send the network from one to another, and they were just 10 to 20 institutes in the starting they were able to connect, but after that whole world connected with it. And again, we can have a look after a decade, that is in the 1970s. And we have already talked about it, ARPANET, as the internet word came from packet switching, and ARPANET from ARPANET basically. And in 1970, in the end of 60s and the starting of 70s, we were able to get the word, integrated word in the single word, and that is internet. We all know these days. And but in 70s, they were still not able to get it how to give a evolvement in the internet. And there was a time that they haven't got any idea. But there was a scientist that his name was Winton Cerf. In the end of 70s, he was able to solve that problem by connecting all the computers with one another. As I told you that in ARPANET there were just some institutions were able to connect, but after or we can say in the end of 70s, Winton Cerf was able to solve that problem, and he was able to connect all the computers around the world with the mini networks, and that is called the transmission control protocol, or in a short form TCP. And now we known as a internet protocol. Both are same, but just the transmission control protocol name was given in the starting, and now we all know that is internet protocol. And internet protocol is a thing, or we can say acronym, we use or to refer these days to have each computer to have its own identity, and every computer has its own identity just with the help of internet protocol. And like in the 80s, most of the like in 80s nothing has much been done, as Winton Cerf have done a great job, and he has already founded it. Many almost completed it more half, or we can say 75% of his work by just connecting the computer, all the computers by a mini network that is called internet protocol these days. And we can use to send files, data from one another, from one computer to another with the help of the IP. And this network was still between the scientists and researchers from different universities and labs, as I told you, through the ARPANET. And in 1991, everything changed, and we got a new thing that is called World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee. As internet that was not simply a way to send files from one place to another, but now we can say a web of information that anyone on the internet could retrieve or anyone can use. And Tim Berners-Lee created the first browser and the first internet that we know today, that is www, World Wide Web. And in the end of 90s, or we can say in the mid of 90s, there was some students, researchers, scientists in the University of Illinois, and they have like developed, or they got the knowledge of all the this packet switching, ARPANET, World Wide Web, and they were able to connect the first browser that is called Mosaic. And now it has a different name, that is Netscape. Mosaic offered a very friendly use to search the web or to search anything, or we can. And there were like new things people know, people get to know about it, as there were links and there were pages, and there were all like there in the browser there were words, picture, videos, movies, and everything were there, as well as links. And it is new to everyone, but still people can use it in a very efficient way. That's why it is called a very user friendly search engine, or we can say. And the same year, like many of the companies, or we can say e-commerce entrepreneurs, they were able to connect their companies with the browser through e-commercial purposes, to like sell goods, or we can say sell their products to the customers in a very efficient way, as it is a very convenient way where like we can sit upon a one place and we can search anything around the world, and we can get by just ordering some play by placing an order, by giving the address or by giving our bank details, and we can have it just because of the Mosaic, or we can say with the help of students and researchers of University of Illinois, those who have built or they have made a first browser, that is Mosaic. And after that, like we all know, evolvement have been done in many ways, and social networking sites like Facebook, Instagram, Skype later came into the knowledge of everyone. And now in the 21st century, in the year 2020, we all know everything regarding internet, just because of the hard work they have done in the 90s, or we can say uh, many like 50 years ago they have done a hard work just to. That's why we are using very efficiently these network sites or internet. And here's a like history of internet. We get to know about it. And here's just a summary. There's a no big summary. You can just have a look upon like 1958 ARPA was built, in 1962 ARPANET, and here is 1965 IMP. 1983 there was NSFNet. 1993 there was a browser, and 1995 www. And I have presented like everything to you regarding history of internet, but still, if you have any doubt or you have any queries, you can go through the link which will I provide here, and upload on the YouTube, and you can go through that. And if you have any doubt regarding history of internet, and thanks to all with your time, and hope stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.